writing it was trying to figure out her backstory and her character. And we were going back and forth with them, and they said, "Hey, what if she was a cat burglar?" In design, we kind of went, "Oh, that's kind of an interesting take." Figured cat burglars like sneaking into places, and that's kind of where the idea for the teleporter came up.
Like at first, she was more of a treasure hunter character, but we found testers didn't really identify with that. So then came the idea of the cat burglar. People really liked that. Then came the additions to the kit. I definitely loved working on her dialogue because she existed actually before I came on, and I just got a bio, just a description of her and a picture, and I was like, I love her. She's wonderful. She's everything. Because she reminded me a lot of a bunch of friends of mine who are ferocious women, but also very like prim and proper and put together. So I loved that. I had a lot of fun working on her dialogue because I saw her as this very proper and classy lady, but also a very flirty person. And it reminded me of how I play RPGs. I just have my character flirt with everyone. And I always found it so funny how the different characters in it reacted to that. So I wanted to get that into Loba's personality to see how other people would react to someone like that. When we decided, I want to say rivalry, but really like the hatred between Revenant and Loba and her wanting to take revenge, that came later in her story. And then we thought, oh my God, we can't have her being nice to him in the game. That's totally immersion breaking. I don't want to give away too much, but that led to some design changes and new features that we're introducing in season 5 that make the characters interact a little bit more. You'll see that a lot with Loba and Revenant, and you might see it with a few other characters too.
We ended up building out this new feature in the dialogue system where now characters know who they're talking to and they can call out specifically, and they have specific lines written for specific characters. The nice thing is the system is in place now, and so potentially in the future there could be more if we decide to go that way. The thing she stole from the reveal trailer, it looks like the time travel device that Jack Cooper used, but it's actually a miniaturized jump drive, the same ones that kind of the capital ships use when they jump through space. So she uses that jump drive and she custom makes it into her own bracelet, and then that becomes her teleportation device, which is then one of her abilities.
It's also kind of a cool thematic thing because she actually does run her own black market shop outside the games, so it's kind of an extension of that. But there's a more literal, obviously, mechanic of literally pulling things out of nowhere.
Her passive eye for quality, it just spots loot in the world, so you can't see other players running around with good loot. There's some cool things about it because it draws them through walls, but that means it also allows you to ping them through walls. I like going around the map and kind of zooming in with my sniper and saying, oh, there's a shield over there. Practice using the teleporter. It's one of her most powerful abilities in the game. You can use it in a fight. You can use it to get out of the fight. You can use it to get to really good positions. I'm really excited to see how players get really creative with the teleporter. So the main thing with Loba's staff is anyone can use it, but Loba is the only character with the ability to collapse it if she doesn't need it anymore. So that's going to be one of the things you're going to want to remember when you're Loba. Put the staff up, wait for your teammates to get everything, and then when you're done, you probably want to put that away because otherwise other teams could come over and use it too.
We're bringing back Kings Canyon with a big map update for Season 5. So what do we want to do? We wanted to take the most popular area of the map, Skulltown. She's collapsed Skulltown into the ocean, and now it's no longer there. That also means that there's new developments in other parts of the map. Over by the swamps area, it's fully redesigned, and there's a lot going on over there. The one line for the biggest change probably this season is Skulltown is gone. I was a Skulltown dropper, and I love this map update a lot.
It was more about where in the map are you going to be playing more. Like if you take away Skulltown and then you see that we added Capacitor over by where Wetlands used to be, and then there's the offshore rig is a little past that. It's sort of the density of the map has moved to that side of the map instead of Skulltown, which sort of offsets the center of the map, and all the drop locations sort of have a different heat is sort of what the designers talk about sometimes. So I think in Season 5 we'll see a lot more fights in these new areas instead of the desert side of the map, which just has a different feel, There's more woods over there, there's more bushes. I think it sort of helps you decide where you're going to rotate. The river isn't the center of the map anymore, which I think is pretty interesting. There's a lot of fights that didn't exist before, so a lot of the same rotations that you might be remembering and thinking, I can cleanly go from here to there. Well, now there might be a town right over there you got to worry about, and you might start getting shot at from there. They're sort of, we call them map toys. They're just a thing that we've developed that we can place around the map that will draw players to do something different in that area. So a good example is like a revive station or a jump tower. So those are things that are placed around the map, and so now these ultimate chargers are a similar sort of toy where you'll see them glowing. They have this like glowing, like push pop looking techie thing. And you walk over to it and you use the panel on it, and it starts sparking and having all this electricity. And anybody on the panel or anybody on the like base station, when it goes off, gets their ult 100% immediately. So this plays really well, especially with Loba, who has a very strong ultimate at the start of the game. A little strategy suggestion there is to drop on those things as Loba and use them right away. It kind of leans into a way that we design a lot of the maps, the towns, we're like compact with lots of space in between them so that the fights stay in the towns and sort of don't spread out into the fields as much. And this is just another way to sort of bring a bunch of players to one spot so that there's a nice, good fight. It's sort of an experiment, honestly, the quest thing. It's like, it's trying to do a couple of interesting things that the rest of the game doesn't do. I think it will appeal largely to people that want that downtime to go in and just shoot some AI for a little while and want to have a couple things that they can accomplish without just having to go in and win a game of Battle Royale, so they can go in and get their treasure packs, which also unlocks crafting medals for them, and sort of at a slow drip feed, but they can collect them over time and get some skin that they've been saving up for.
It's really fun to see one of the prowlers take off after it, and then you just each time you complete one of these hunts, you unlock some rewards, but one of the things you unlock each time is the next chapter of that story. You basically you get to read through as the legends are discussing things, and there's narration, and basically there's this ongoing story.
If it's very popular, if people like it, we love making it. It is a whole nother side piece of content, so we also want to make sure we put a lot of our resources towards the Battle Royale game that we're making.
This is Respawn's first live service game, and I've told people as an analogy, people can tell you what it's like to have a child, and they can tell you all the things you need to plan for and what it's going to be like, but you don't really know until you actually have a child, and it's like way different than anyone could ever warn you. Season 1 and Season 2, I think, we're trying to figure it out still. Season 3, we started to hit our stride, and now, aside from the COVID lockdown, I think we were in a really great place, and we're just pumping out great stuff.
Yeah, for me, the big catalyst came in January of this year. Two big things happened in Apex. One was we had this big in-game event called the Grand Soiree. It was a lot of fun to put on, but also it was one of our first big opportunities to tell more story. I think back to the Season 3 intro video or 2 intro video where they're all on the dropship about to drop down, and for me personally, that was one of the first big you're seeing their lives behind the scenes. A new way to come back and kind of throughout the season get new rewards and get new story and a little bit of new gameplay was really compelling. So we talked about a bunch of stuff, and this is sort of what it catalyzed into.
As far as competitive shooters are concerned, I feel like we're in a pretty good place. It's not perfect. I don't know that it ever will be perfect. We're always playing the game all the time. We're looking online. We're watching the competitive scene. We're doing everything we possibly can to get as much information as possible. And we use all of those points of information to try to balance our game the best we can. And there's a lot of considerations that go in that, maybe not everyone understands or need to. It's our job to make sure that everyone is enjoying the game and they feel like it's balanced. And with live service, you can do those changes. It's never done. So in some ways, it's nice that you have this steady stream of updates coming forever, essentially, and you can continue working and improving things.